Hi, welcome to the Smoke Trail. I'm in beautiful Beaver Creek, Colorado. You can see the mountains behind me. It's a spectacular day. Can't think of a more stunning place to be than the Colorado Rockies in the summer. And I'm just coming off a awesome 2-day workshop in Lafayette near Boulder, where Gaia put on a 2-day series with Dr. Karim, who came up with biogeometry. I'll do a whole session on biogeometry and what I learned there, but I had already read a couple of his books, and I had been playing around with his geosignatures, which are really incredible. But being there in person in his presence and having him talk about the power of life force BG3 and all the different ways we can access it was really, really powerful. And so I'll share that. So coming off or in a Rocky Mountain high, if you will, and we were down at Pazzo's Pizza the other day and ended up hanging out, talking to a bunch of the staff members there. It's a great little pizza place. And ended up talking to one of the people working there, and he had expressed his struggles in his daily life, and he said he starts out each day in a very negative mindset. And we talked a little bit. I asked him some questions, and I said, well, what's your routine? And he said, no, I just wake up and I think this is going to be a bad day. I think bad thoughts, and that's literally how I start every day, and I don't want to be like that. And I said, well, look, that's a very common situation. And so what I thought I'd do today in this episode is talk a little bit about some of the ways, the tools that we can use to change that trajectory. It's very important how we start our day and how we end our day. We start our day on a trajectory, and whatever thought first pops into your mind, whether it's a beautiful, grateful thought, or it's a neutral thought, or it's some kind of negative, woe is me kind of thought, it's very likely that will cascade and continue. So what happens is we have a thought. Maybe it's quickly you think about something that you regret, or you think about something that you're nervous about or anxious about in the future. It's always about your ego mind inserting a thought which is about the past or the future. And when we have these thoughts, if you give them energy, which is the normal way we interact with our thoughts, what happens is it gives a feeling of dread or a feeling of anxiety. Say we're thinking about work, or we're thinking about how am I going to pay the bills, or I don't like my situation, that kind of thing. And that first thought generates an emotion, which then generates follow-on thoughts, which typically follow the same trajectory. So if I wake up and I think, oh, woe is me, I hate my job, I'm not looking forward to today, then I have a feeling of dread or anxiety. And then the next thought is, oh, I don't like this person at work. And the next thought is, why am I stuck in this situation? The next thought. And before you know it, you're cascading these thoughts, and they're building energy. And as they build energy, they have their own inertia, or which is trajectory of momentum. And before you know it, your whole day kind of starts out that way, and it's really, really hard to get off of that trajectory. So when we think about if the desire is, I want to be positive, I want to be in a good state of mind, I want to have a great day, it's really important to nip that early thought at the bud, like right at the beginning. And there's tools to do that. So let me talk a little bit about my process and how you might be able to tap into some of these things very easily. So we all have to grow up in life. We have to clean up and we have to wake up. So these are all tied to that, right? So it's as simple as this. If a negative thought pops up right in the beginning, notice it. Start out by noticing it. And if you're aware of it, that's the first job. First, the task is notice that, oh, that was a negative thought. I don't really like that. That's your first step in creating separation between your thought and your reaction. Because otherwise, we are acting mechanically like an animal or a machine. So you've got a thought, and if you just allow that to run your day, you're no different than any animal. You're no different than a machine that just does a rote routine reaction to whatever's the stimuli in front of you. When we realize that that thought is not something we want, we can start to separate ourselves from the thought. And what that means is as simple as you are not your thought. I am not that thought. It is a thought that came to me, and I have a choice. I can follow that thought on with energy, or I can say, you know what, that's not where I want to go. Bring me something better. And I love my friend Danny's analogy of swipe left, swipe right. When a thought comes up that is not the direction you want it to go, I don't know, I don't use those apps, so I don't remember if swipe left or right is good, but whichever way says no, swipe that way. So say, no, bring me something better. And you can keep doing that with your mind until you think of a good thought, a gratitude thought. He did say that he tries to write down things that he's grateful for in the morning, but he's already gone through this negative cascading, so he's already on the wrong trajectory, so it's really hard. So just being aware of it is step one. Now, when I talk about cleaning up as part of this process that we have to go through, that's really getting into the cause of some of these thoughts. So we're all operating at a certain level of vibration, a certain level of consciousness. And that level of consciousness is going to have certain thoughts. They aren't even your own. They feel like yours, but they're not really. They're really the thoughts that come from that level of consciousness. So once you realize that the consciousness level of where you exist is causing you to receive thoughts that are at that level, you can realize, gee, that's not me. That is something else. It's the field. So if you're in a depressed state, the thoughts that come to you are the same thoughts that come to everybody in a depressed state. If you're in an angry state, the thoughts that come to you are the same thoughts that come to everyone in an angry state. If you're in a guilty state, a shame state, all of these are fields of consciousness, and everybody has the same thoughts. Now you might be saying, Smoke, no, my thoughts are my thoughts. I have my own thoughts. No one has my thoughts. Well, that's just not true. If you were to analyze what the content of your thought is, substitute the names of the situation, the story that you're telling yourself, and they're common. They're the same thoughts. They're, if it's guilt, it's I did something wrong. It's dwelling in the past. It's regret. It's feeling like, oh, I should have done something differently. And you can substitute you for any other person who's in that field. So once we understand this is like a really, really fundamental basic tool, is once you realize this, you don't have to be controlled by the thoughts that are coming to you. So nipping it at the bud, starting out the day with clearing that thought, saying, not giving it energy, not going down the rabbit hole of what that thought leads you to, and changing the trajectory. So swipe left, swipe right, no, bring me something better, bring me something better, bring me something better, until you get a thought that's, you know what, This is a beautiful day. I'm in one of the most stunning places on earth. It's going to be a great day. Okay, now let's give energy to that thought. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful the sun is shining, the flowers are blooming. It's such a wonderful time to be here. And so this person lives here. Like he lives in paradise. This is like, I mean, and frankly, it's paradise in the winter in a different way, right? But it's just paradise. So the idea that you could not wake up and be appreciative of everything that is before you, it's like, it's your choice. It's your choice. So don't energize the negative thought. Try to swipe left, swipe right, get to until you can come with something that is in gratitude. And one of the tools, I've said this before, but one of the tools that I learned, Ivan Rados, one of my teachers, taught me early on was just say thank you. Even if you can't think of something that you're grateful for, starting by saying thank you repeatedly to the air, to the world, to the universe, to God. Just say thank you. The vibration of those words are powerful. And if you keep saying it to yourself, thank you, thank you, thank you, it'll feel weird. At first, I walked around saying thank you for weeks and months before it fully set in. And what happens is you just get into a thankful attitude. You can't help it. You just get into a grateful attitude. And if you get into a grateful attitude, it's automatically a higher vibration than any of these negative thoughts and negative fields. And the thoughts that come with that higher consciousness level, the higher vibration, are going to be positive thoughts. They're going to be grateful thoughts. They're going to be thoughts that you want to keep. So if you want to get out of the repeat cycle of going down this spiral of negativity, say thank you. Say thank you. Say thank you. And I also asked him, I said, well, that's great that you've started a gratitude journaling where in the morning he would write a few things that he's grateful for, even though he was still quite starting out negative. I'm like, that's great. You're already starting in the right path. But what do you do at night before you go to bed? He said, nothing. He said, I watch TV, I watch a movie. He didn't have any practice. And I said, one of the best things you can do is right before you go to bed, get your journal out and just write down anything and everything that you think didn't go right that day. So you responded irritably to a loved one. You were grumpy when you got to work because you started out negatively. You said something you regretted. Somebody said something to you that offended you in some way. Just jot them down, like da 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 da. But the idea is you're jotting them down not to dwell on them. You're jotting them down to clear them. So the idea is you write them down and you say, is that everything? Is that everything? Is there anything else that I missed today that I wish didn't happen? And then just say to yourself or say out loud, and you can write it down too, I'm an infinite being. I'm only subject to what I hold in mind. And all of these things I release to the universe. I release and let go. They are gone. They are over. And that just act of getting them on paper and clearing them before you go to sleep will clear your subconscious of having to rework those things at night while you sleep. The odds are the next morning you're not going to be thinking the same thought. You're gonna have cleared it. So just clearing some of the things that didn't go well during the day, it's not giving them energy if you're doing it for the purpose I'm talking about. You're just kind of getting them to get them out of your head, and then consciously, intentionally say out loud, I release all of these thoughts, all these activities. They're done. I don't need to learn anything else from them. I'm done with them. That alone will set you up for more success the next day. So this has started a part of the process of cleaning up. So when I talk about cleaning up, there's deep cleaning, which is uncovering and surfacing and cleansing traumas all the way back to childhood. And then there's daily upkeep. Daily upkeep is about clearing these, like, any little incidences that happen. And everyone has to do this in some way. We are energetic beings, and we're picking up stuff that happens every day, every moment, every thought we have, every emotion we have, every interaction we have. Those are energies. And those energies accumulate. And if we don't clear them, they build up pressure inside. And if you don't clear them on a daily basis, then at some point that pressure builds, and then we have an outburst. We have some kind of breakdown, some kind of bigger release, because you can't hold that stuff in. Or you hold it in and it manifests into unwellness, dis-ease, right? So we hold these negative energies inside. If we don't release them, what happens is they get stuck in your body and they manifest in some other way. And your body is telling you, when you're having some symptoms of whatever it is, a chronic illness, a short-term illness, your body is telling you that you have to release things, that you've got stuff stored up inside. When we release them on a regular basis, ideally throughout the day, like, you don't even carry stuff like from one instant to the next, but at the very least, what I'm saying, at the night before you go to bed, right, jot them down and then intentionally release them. You're not building up negative energies inside that are going to then manifest as something that you don't want. So that's one step in the purification process that can help you right away. Like, start now. Do this today. Do this tonight before bed, and wake up the next morning. Do the swipe left, swipe right. If the first thoughts are not gratitude, but you can, with a little bit of practice, this waking up thankful becomes a habit. I think they say it takes about 30 days of constant doing something every day on a regular basis to build a habit. So 30, 60, 90 days, whatever. It's not that long, really, in the scheme of things, to have a very, very different outlook on life, a very different perspective. Just by doing these simple things, you will raise your consciousness level, and you will get out of the spiral of repeat, rinse, repeat, or not rinse, repeat, which is what many people are stuck in. Just a reminder, we are what we think. And what you are the combination of everything you think, or thought, or felt previous to now. What we think now is what will manifest later in the day, tomorrow, in the future. So there's a great book written in the early 1900s by James Allen called As a Man Thinketh. I actually think that's a great book. It's really short and simple, and I recommend everyone read it. But there's also, like, literally, you can get the James Allen collection on Audible, which is, I don't know, it's 100 plus hours of his books. He's got many books. And I would recommend everyone listening to it. I've listened to the whole thing many times. His simple thing, As a Man Thinketh. What we think, we become. What we think turns into our reality. And that sounds maybe cliche or maybe trite a little bit, especially if you're not in a great place, but it's real. And so the things I'm talking about with cleaning up is about getting your thoughts to align with what you really want in life. So if you want happiness, you want joy, you want success, you want love, everyone wants love in some way, shape, or form, you have to be love. If you want to be love, and you want to be happiness, and you want to be joy, then you have to clear out the negative stuff. Doesn't mean ignore it and push it down. I did that for many years. Some of us are great at compartmentalizing. I'm an expert compartmentalizer. And while that can serve you in a certain situation, because you have to keep your mind on the task at hand, if you don't clear those things that are compartmentalized, they'll manifest in illness and disease, in unwellness. And our normal state of being as a human being is perfect health. If you're not in perfect health, there are reasons for that. And they're not the medical reasons that your normal MD, Western doctor will tell you. It is what I'm talking about. I think the vast majority of dis-ease and unwellness and discomfort that people experience are a direct result of not clearing negative thoughts and emotions at the time it happens or later. So now there are other things that we don't know. The more I learn, the more I know I don't know. So just to be clear, there's lots of things I have no idea about, but this I know. And if you listen to this and you've gotten this far, something is resonating with you at your higher self, and you know that what I am speaking is truth. There is nothing more clear to me than we manifest our own illness, our own disease, our own sickness, our own depression. And if you're, if you're on a journey of self-discovery and you're trying to be better, you're seeking happiness, you're seeking wellness, the first step is cleaning up. So cleaning up these thoughts, cleaning up these emotions, and starting your day out right are some of the simplest tools that is accessible to everyone, no matter who you are, that will have a meaningful impact on your life. It has had on me, it's had on many people that I have noticed. So this whole spiritual journey, the whole journey of awakening and enlightenment, I think is wrapped around in lots of human ego mind complications. One of the things that I've learned is if you can't tell something simply and you're making something overcomplicated, you may not really know the truth. The truth is actually quite simple. Executing it and doing the things is the hard part, but knowing what to do is actually not that hard. So it takes some discipline, it takes some willpower, and it takes some information, right? Some knowledge. But if you have those things, there's nothing that stops you from moving your consciousness level to a higher level. The number one criteria, and really the only thing that generates peace and happiness within a human, is raising your consciousness level. It's not money. It's not the girl of your dreams or the man of your dreams. It's not success. It's not fame. It is raising your consciousness level. So in cleaning up our inside, we're setting ourselves up for success so that we can have higher thoughts, better thoughts. We can receive thoughts at a higher frequency level, which will cascade and you become your thoughts. So as your thoughts become more positive, as you live in gratitude, it's a law of the universe. There's nothing that will stop you from becoming what it is you're thinking. So if you're thinking happy thoughts, you're thinking joy, you're thinking love, you're thinking gratitude, you will become that eventually. And if you're thinking the opposite of those things, that's what you are. It's simple, but doing it is the hard part. So I'll pause there for now and leave it at the simple suggestions I give you. I would love to hear from you if you do this and you do it consistently for a minimum of 30 days. More is better, but 30 days, every single day, do what I'm saying. Do the evening thing, do the morning thing, swipe left, swipe right. I would love to hear back how it's going. I guarantee you'll be in a better place if you do this. And that's all I can say. So that's the smoke trail for today. Hopefully it's helpful, and I look forward to hearing back from you on your journey. Cheers.